man, my tortoise is a red foot tortoise. Man, I need some help with when it comes to like recommendation for the mister. I only have a spray bottle to kind of keep it humid. I need a good recommendation for that. I need to know what else can I add into this tank.
So let's evaluate this enclosure setup for this young hatchling redfoot tortoise. Right off the bat, the hide spot right under the basking area is a no-go. You're hiding the probability of your tortoise overheating. Not only that, that hide box is a no. It's the wrong one. This is not a gecko. This is not a snake. You need to replace it with a hide box that is a square. You don't want your young hatchling tortoise to be able to climb up, flip over, and hide the probability of it passing away when you're not at home or at work. Who knows? I would also recommend for you to replace the basking bulb with a ceramic heat emitter that gives off no light, so you can have it run 24/7 and not disrupt your tortoise's sleeping cycle. Have the UVB on for 10 to 12 hours a day. Now, looking at the substrate, we see that the substrate is a little bit on the low side. You want to add more substrate to be able to have more depth of humidity. That water dish is perfectly fine. That's a Repti rock. I recommend that in my YouTube videos. I would also add a couple pebbles in it, so just in case it does flip over, it can have something to help it flip back up. You want to have the humidity up higher. You're going to want to put something like a Ziploc bag on the left hand side of the enclosure top lid, not on the right hand side where the basking and the UVB is. Also have a humidifier, so you're not always spraying down the enclosure, because spraying down the enclosure all the time, you can hide the probability of shell rot, fungus, bacterial buildup. That's a no-go for a lot of tortoises, even for rainforest dwelling tortoises like the redfoot tortoise. The food dish has to move to the left side of the enclosure on the cool side. You want to also put the new hide in the center of the enclosure on the back side of the wall. This enclosure is a little bit small. I would recommend more hides, but this is a small enclosure setup, but it is doable. And then we see that this guy has a glass enclosure, and I know a lot of you out there are going to be like,
oh, the tortoise is going to look into infinity, always stressing itself out, trying to get out of the enclosure.
Stop. A lot of times when tortoises do that, especially young ones, it's because they're outgrowing their enclosure setup. And when they outgrow their enclosure setup, that's when you start seeing them surf the walls of your enclosure, glass, wood, even if you can't see it. But for young tortoises especially, older tortoises, yes, but young tortoises, no. Because I even have a 3-year-old Western Hermann's tortoise that is temporarily indoors, that is in a PVC enclosure, but the front end is all glass. And it likes to greet me and say, hey, you have a snacky snack for me from time to time when I walk into the reptile room. So for this enclosure setup, I definitely recommend that this is temporary, but it's a good start because you decided to reach out to me and ask for advice. Any other tortoise keepers out there, you have any suggestions, please comment down below.